The palace gates are shut tight, but inside the royal halls are shaking. A woman has stepped forward, calm, poised, and carrying a story that could burn the House of Windsor to the ground. She claims to be the secret daughter of King Charles. Not a distant relative, not a tabloid rumor, but a living, breathing heir hidden in plain sight. And the resemblance? Startling. Her eyes mirror Charles. Her presence echoes Diana. The timing of her appearance couldn't be more explosive, just as Camilla faces mounting pressure and whispers of personal collapse. Sources inside the palace say Camilla lost it the moment she saw the woman's photo. Rage, accusations, threats, even talk of separation. She's reportedly demanded DNA tests, legal action, and total silence from palace staff. But the woman won't go away, and neither will the questions. Why now? Why her? And why is the palace so afraid? This isn't just another royal scandal. It's the unraveling of a perfectly managed image. One woman, one claim, and one furious queen watching her entire reign slip through her fingers. And now, the whole world is watching. The shocking revelation that shook the palace. The letter didn't arrive through official channels. It wasn't sent to a royal aide. It came in anonymously, postmarked from Geneva, typed in clean French and marked urgent. The contents? A claim that would send Buckingham Palace into immediate lockdown. A woman, now in her late 30s, declared she was the biological daughter of King Charles III. Her message was simple: I am ready to speak. At first, royal staff dismissed it as a hoax, but then came the photo. The resemblance was undeniable. The eyes, the bone structure, the same subtle tilt of the head Diana used to carry, the same hands as Charles. For those who saw it, the comparison was chilling. It was like seeing a ghost in real time, one aide whispered. Suddenly, the story exploded. Private documents, medical notes, and an unverified birth certificate began circulating online. Within 48 hours, hashtags like #CharlesDaughter and #RoyalScandal dominated the internet. Comment sections were flooded with side-by-side images. One post simply read, "The House of Windsor has a secret, and she just knocked on the front door." The timing couldn't have been worse. With Queen Camilla already under pressure from her son's legal woes and public distrust, this new revelation threatened to break what little control the palace still had. This wasn't just another rumor, one palace insider told the press. This was nuclear. As aides scrambled to contain the story, all attempts to contact the woman were met with silence. At least officially. Unofficially, someone had already gotten to her. A discreet legal team was deployed, a financial advisor, a private investigator. The palace wanted answers, and they wanted them fast. And in the middle of it all, King Charles, silent as stone. But while Charles kept his lips sealed, Queen Camilla did not. And behind the thick walls of Clarence House, things were about to explode. Camilla's instant fury. Behind closed doors. Camilla didn't hear it from Charles. She didn't hear it from aides. She saw it online, just like everyone else. When a staffer rushed in with an iPad, she expected another article about her son Tom's court troubles. But what she saw made her gasp, drop the device, and reportedly shout, "Tell me this isn't true!" Insiders say she lost control completely. One said, We've never seen her like that. It was full-blown panic. She demanded answers, hurling accusations at Charles. According to multiple sources, she shouted, "You've humiliated me! You lied to me for 40 years!" Staff say she smashed a glass against the fireplace. Her voice could be heard through several rooms. Threats of separation, demands for DNA tests, and even the word divorce were allegedly used. All while Charles remained unusually quiet. Camilla was convinced that the girl's existence wasn't news to Charles, that he'd hidden it from her all along. And when she demanded access to his old letters and diaries, what she found only made her worse. "She found an old envelope marked with a different name," said a royal aide. "We don't know what was inside, but whatever it was, it broke her." "She feels betrayed on every level," said another source. "It's not just about Charles, it's about power. If this daughter is real, she's a threat to everything Camilla's worked for." But who is this woman at the center of the storm? She didn't want fame. She wasn't chasing tabloids. So why now? Who is she? She was born in Switzerland in 1985, raised by a wealthy but low-profile European family with ties to nobility. Her name, at birth, is still unconfirmed. But what's clear now is that she's no ordinary citizen. She studied international law, speaks 5 languages, has worked for global diplomacy organizations, and until recently kept her identity buried, by design. Sources close to her say she was always told her father was someone important. But it wasn't until her mother passed away 2 years ago that the truth began to unfold. Hidden letters, financial records, and a strand of hair, locked in an envelope marked Clarence House. She allegedly sought out quiet DNA verification last year. The lab won't confirm, neither will the palace. But 2 sources familiar with the results say they were damning. What makes this woman even more compelling is how she's handled the attention. No interviews, no social media, no press appearances. Just one message sent through a legal representative. "I am not here to cause chaos. I'm here for the truth." She's not demanding a title, a source said. She's asking for recognition. And that may be what scares the monarchy the most. Because now, Charles isn't just facing a scandal, he's facing a reckoning. And the weight of that reckoning may be greater than anything the throne can bear. Charles's silent struggle. King Charles didn't deny the letter. He didn't call a meeting. He didn't say a word. Palace staff waited for direction, but none came. For days, the monarch remained hidden behind closed doors at Highgrove. No interviews, no formal response, just silence. And that silence only fueled more speculation. Behind the scenes, it said Charles was visibly shaken after receiving the confirmation. According to one aide, he looked at the photo and whispered, "She has her mother's mouth, but that's my face." That moment, insiders say, was the beginning of a personal crisis Charles had avoided for decades. The question now haunting the palace: did Charles always know? Some believe he did, and that years of quiet payoffs, anonymous trusts, and diplomatic assistance have kept the truth buried. Others argue he was in the dark entirely, a victim of old mistakes catching up with him in a digital age. Sources close to the king say his inner circle is torn. Some urge him to go public and control the narrative. Others insist secrecy is survival. The monarchy cannot afford another family fracture, one official warned. Not after Harry, not after Andrew, not now. This is Charles's moment of reckoning. says one royal historian. Duty or truth, legacy or confession. But while Charles remains paralyzed by the past, another shadow looms. One name, one legacy, continues to haunt this story like a ghost waiting to speak. Diana's shadow. Long-buried rumors have resurfaced. Did Diana know? Among her personal belongings, sealed in Kensington Palace archives, is said to be a handwritten note, dated just months before her death. In it, Diana allegedly referenced a child we are not allowed to speak of. The handwriting matches. The tone, heartbroken. Friends of Diana are coming forward with cryptic confirmations. One former staffer claimed, "She always said the truth would find its way out, one way or another." What if this woman isn't just Charles's daughter? What if Diana knew and chose not to expose it? Was she protecting the monarchy or waiting for the perfect storm? Online forums and social media are ablaze with theories. Was Diana warned to stay silent? Did she meet the girl in secret? Was her fatal crash more than just an accident? Fuel was added to the fire when a close confidant of Diana's said, "There was always a missing piece. Maybe this is it." Whether or not Diana knew the truth, her legacy now frames the entire scandal. Every headline mentions her name. Every image of the alleged daughter is compared to her. "It feels like Diana's voice is still in the room," said one journalist. Only now, she's speaking through someone else. And while Diana's ghost rattles the gates of power, inside those gates, one woman is falling apart. Not from guilt, but from rage. Because for Camilla, this isn't just scandal, it's collapse. Camilla's collapse. She's been through scandal before. She's faced protesters, headlines, and public hatred. But this is different. Queen Camilla is unraveling. In the weeks following the secret daughter's emergence, palace insiders report emotional instability, furious arguments, and isolation. "She barely speaks to Charles," said one courtier. "When she does, it's just to accuse him of ruining everything." After her son, Tom Parker Bowles, was convicted in a hush-hush financial misconduct case, Camilla was already fragile. But this new revelation shattered what was left of her royal armor. Behind closed doors, Camilla allegedly screamed, "She's going to take everything, the crown, the attention, even the past." Staff say her bedroom is now off-limits. Personal aides have been rotated due to emotional overload. Doctors have been called in for stress-related complications. One source admitted, "It's not just her title that's in danger, it's her state of mind." And as the public grows more sympathetic toward the daughter, Camilla sees her influence slipping. Her silence is not grace, it's panic. "She spent decades getting here," one former aide whispered, "but the throne is colder than she ever expected, and lonelier." But Camilla isn't the only one watching her world shift, because now someone else is speaking out. And it's not Charles, not William, not Harry. It's the one name we forgot: Laura. Laura Lopez. She's never chased the spotlight. Unlike her half-brothers William and Harry, Laura Lopez, Camilla's only daughter, has stayed largely out of public view. Quiet, civil, a footnote in the royal story, until now. But with the rise of King Charles's alleged secret daughter, Laura has suddenly stepped forward, not with interviews or press conferences, but with a carefully chosen statement at a charity gala. "Some things coming to light are not mine to judge, but storms do pass." To most, It seemed like a vague comment, but to insiders it was a signal, a warning. Laura knows more than she's letting on. Royal aides say tensions between Laura and Camilla have skyrocketed. She's not siding with her mother this time, one source said. There's distance and there's disagreement. Rumors now swirl that Laura has privately contacted the alleged daughter, possibly offering quiet support. Some even speculate they've met face to face. Why would Laura reach out? Some believe it's guilt. Others believe it's curiosity. Or maybe she simply sees the writing on the wall. The future of the monarchy is shifting, and silence won't protect anyone anymore. For years, Laura kept her head down, one court insider noted. Now, she's lifting it and watching everything burn. But it's not just Camilla's daughter who's stirring behind the scenes. Across the Atlantic, another royal brother is stepping into the light, and possibly toward a final family reckoning. Divided by blood, united by truth? They've barely spoken in public for over a year. Their paths have split. One heir, one exile. But now, for the first time in a long time, William and Harry find themselves drawn into the same scandal. Sources say William was furious when he found out, not at the alleged daughter, but at how the palace handled it. He believes it should have been dealt with years ago, said one aide. Now it's spiraling out of control. As future king, William has a monarchy to protect. He's pushing for a quiet legal settlement, hoping to preserve the crown's dignity. But Harry? He's playing a different game. Reports from California say Harry has already reached out to the woman claiming to be his half-sister. He understands what it's like to feel like the outsider, said a friend. He sees her as someone Diana might have cared for. There's even talk of a secret meeting between them, off-camera, off-record, and possibly already happened. Royal watchers are calling it the most explosive reunion that never made headlines. Could this be the first step toward healing, or the moment that tears the royal family apart for good? When Harry moved away, he left the palace, but maybe now he's returning to finish what Diana started. But even as family lines shift and alliances blur, one man's role in the shadows is raising deeper questions. Camilla's son vanished from public view, but what did he know all along? The mysterious case of Tom Parker. B.S. Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, has always danced on the edge of royalty. Not quite a prince, not quite a civilian. But now, his name is tied to more than just food writing and party circuits. It's tied to secrets. Just months ago, he was quietly sentenced for a financial cover-up involving anonymous funds funneled through offshore accounts. The trial was sealed. The media was gagged. The charges? Never fully disclosed. But recent leaks suggest something darker. Text messages and emails obtained by a whistleblower point to Tom possibly knowing about the alleged daughter, and using that knowledge to negotiate with palace officials. In one chilling line, he allegedly wrote, "I know things Charles would rather stay dead." Was he trying to blackmail the monarchy? Did he threaten to go public? Or worse, was he silenced as part of a deal? Some claim Tom's removal from public life wasn't just legal. It was strategic, a trade, a payoff, a way to bury the truth before it buried the palace. This wasn't about embezzlement, said one former aide. It was about control, and Tom lost his. Now, with Camilla unraveling and her children turning against the narrative, one truth remains. The royals didn't just hide a daughter. They may have buried a conspiracy. But while whispers echo through the palace corridors, The entire nation is watching for one moment, the Queen's breaking point. And in a courtroom, under oath, Camilla finally reached hers. The Queen's meltdown in court. It was meant to be routine, another closed-door appearance tied to Tom Parker Bowles's financial scandal. But when Queen Camilla walked into that courtroom, something shattered. Eyewitnesses described the scene as chaotic. Dressed in somber gray, Camilla appeared pale, distant, until the proceedings began. Then came the snap. She stood up mid-session, interrupted the judge, and began shouting. Not about her son, not about money, about a girl, about lies, about traitors in the palace. At first, those in the gallery assumed she was referencing her son's legal team, but what she screamed next made jaws drop. "She's taking everything from me!" Security stepped forward. One aide tried to calm her, but Camilla reportedly threw a folder to the ground, pointed at a royal legal advisor, and shouted, "You knew! You let this happen!" After 15 minutes of spiraling emotion, she was escorted out under medical observation. No charges were filed. The courtroom was sealed, but a clerk inside confirmed what many feared. This wasn't just about her son. This was about the woman claiming to be Charles's daughter. And Camilla, she believes it's real. And that belief is unraveling her from the inside out. But while Camilla melts down, the bigger war is quietly being fought. Not in courtrooms or newspapers, but in law offices and secret meetings. Because if this daughter is real, what happens to the crown? The hidden war for the crown. Royal blood isn't just symbolic, it's constitutional. And now, everything is at stake. If the alleged daughter is proven to be the biological child of King Charles, the monarchy faces an identity crisis unlike anything in modern history. Who counts as royal? Who inherits what? And could this woman, born out of wedlock, raised in secret, have a legitimate claim to the throne? Behind closed doors, Parliament is already involved. Legal briefings, historical consultations, emergency reviews of succession laws. The Crown's lawyers are working around the clock to prepare for the worst-case scenario. Insiders confirm that palace officials are considering 3 options: silence her with a settlement and NDA, recognize her privately but deny all titles, or prepare for a public hearing that could change the face of the monarchy forever. Even King Charles is said to be conflicted. "He knows what this means," said a longtime aide. "This isn't just about his past, it's about the monarchy's future." The royal motto has always been, "Never complain, never explain." But what happens when explaining becomes a matter of survival? A shadow heir could tear down centuries of royal order in a single interview. And just as the legal machine gears up for war, the public takes matters into its own hands. Because this isn't just a royal drama, it's now a global obsession. The media storm and public backlash. It started with a whisper. Now it's a global roar. Headlines dominate every front page. The king's hidden child, Camilla cracks under pressure. A crown in crisis. Within days, protests begin outside Buckingham Palace. Crowds hold signs reading, "We want the truth," and "DNA or abdicate." News crews camp out 24/7. Foreign outlets run full exposés. A Netflix documentary is already rumored to be in production. But it's not just traditional media. On TikTok, videos comparing the daughter's photos to Charles, Diana, and even Queen Elizabeth have racked up millions of views. Reddit threads deep dive into every alleged cover-up. Twitter hashtags like The Secret Princess and Bloodline Truth trend worldwide. Public opinion has turned. Many support the woman's claim. She's now being called the People's Secret Princess. Meanwhile, the palace refuses to comment. No statement, no denial. And in that silence, the public writes its own truth. In the absence of clarity, we're left with curiosity. And in monarchy, that's dangerous. With every passing hour, the pressure mounts. And now all eyes turn to the only people who can end the speculation. Which brings us to the final act. No more secrets. No more silence, just a royal family standing at the edge of collapse. What happens now? Divorce whispers grow louder. Camilla has allegedly moved into a separate wing of the estate. Charles and Camilla no longer dine together. Public engagements have been postponed. Royal watchers say they're living apart but pretending together. The alleged daughter finally breaks her silence. Through her lawyer, she releases a single devastating line. "I only want the truth and peace." Behind the scenes, Camilla's legal team is working overtime to issue a gag order. But the woman has refused every settlement. She doesn't want a check, her rep says. She wants answers and acknowledgement. Talks of a televised hearing emerge. A trial. A DNA test done live. Could the monarchy survive that? Meanwhile, Prince Harry has offered private support. William stays silent. Parliament is split. And the British public? Divided. Loyalists want the matter buried. Others demand justice. It all boils down to one impossible decision. Acknowledge the daughter and destroy the crown's illusion, or deny her and risk public revolt. The crown was built on silence, one insider said, but silence may now be its undoing. As the royal family stands at the edge of history, one question echoes louder than ever. Is this the end of an era, or the beginning of the truth? Whether she's a forgotten heir or a royal impostor, one thing is clear. This woman's presence has ignited a fire that the palace can't control. Camilla's rage, Charles's silence, the public's obsession. It's all building toward a moment of reckoning. Will the monarchy acknowledge her or erase her? Will Camilla stand by her king or walk away from a crown built on secrets? One woman's story has shattered decades of royal control, and the truth, long buried, is clawing its way to the surface. The crown has survived wars and scandals, but can it survive bloodlines and betrayal? In a monarchy built on bloodlines, secrets are more dangerous than scandals. And this one? It could change everything. The woman claiming to be King Charles's daughter hasn't asked for a title or a crown. She hasn't demanded palaces or pearls. All she wants is truth. And that, more than anything, has shaken Queen Camilla to her core. Because if this woman is who she says she is, it doesn't just threaten Camilla's image, it undermines her entire legacy. Years of climbing, surviving public hatred, enduring comparisons to Diana, it could all vanish with a single DNA result. A crown won, undone by a face too familiar to ignore. The palace's silence grows heavier by the hour. No denial, no acknowledgement. And in that silence, the world is starting to decide for itself. Camilla's fury may echo through the walls of Clarence House, but outside, sympathy is shifting. Toward the outsider, the daughter, the ghost of Diana's shadow. So where does the crown go from here? A trial? A reckoning? A rewrite of history? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. This isn't the end of a scandal. It's the start of a royal reckoning, and the monarchy may never look the same again.